Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. I just thought I'd take a moment to introduce you to HSP101 Introduction to Emergency Management. Welcome! I hope you're all having a good time so far. I want to take one moment to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we're meeting on here today. I realise you're not technically here in the room with me, but it's still really, really important to everything I do. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have been subject to dispossession, invasion, colonisation, a whole bunch of other practices which have put them at great disadvantage to other groups in comparison with other groups across Australia. And the fact that they continue to be over-policed and over-incarcerated at levels now which have been likened to a national emergency, it demonstrates very well that it's important for us to consider these issues and to continue moving forward with research about the concerns that impact their communities. Okie dokie. So today we're going to talk about what this unit about emergency management is all about, basically. I thought I would take a minute to introduce myself to you so you know who I am and what I do. I'm the unit coordinator for HSP101. You will find that email is the best way to get into contact with me. I have an office phone which I will get messages from, but often I'm not sitting waiting by that office phone. I seem to be all around the place, off campus, doing other things at the police academy and elsewhere. So I'm an associate professor in police studies and I work in the School of Social Sciences. And if you really need to get in touch with me, email is definitely the best way to do that. The other thing you can do is you can come and see me. Now, I don't have a set consultation time because last year I spent a lot of time sitting in my office doing nothing except waiting to go to the toilet and no one came to see me. So what I'm going to do is instead is you can email me at any time, obviously, but if you want a face-to-face or a Skype appointment or something like that, just email me and we can arrange a time if that helps you. In case you are ever on campus, my building is the Social Sciences building and I'm in room 534, so level 5 of the Social Sciences building. My research focuses on two areas in particular. I look at the relationships between LGBTI people and police and criminal justice systems more broadly, and I focus on their experiences and frontline interactions with policing and criminal justice systems. I also do a lot of research around young people in policing and the frontline interactions that young people have with police and the ways in which that impacts upon their experiences in the long term. If you want to know more about me and what I do and the publications I do and all of that sort of stuff, you can just Google me or have a look at my profile. There's plenty of information up there. In my spare time, I absolutely love punk music and listen to a lot of punk music. I do dirt bike riding, I hang out with my family, and I run and I swim, and when I get in my spare time, I like to do research. Research is probably one of my favourite things in the world to do. Which is why I've got a picture of me here with some of my favourite research buddies from QUT. Okay, that's a little bit about me. And hopefully when I've recorded this, you'll be able to see the slides. No, not there. Because I'm going to edit them in. But just as you're going through this video and listening to it, have the slides in front of you so that you can work through it with me. So what's this unit all about then? It provides you with an introductory understanding of emergency management. Knowledge around the histories, theories and ways of governing emergency management situations and talking about the roles of the people involved. I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail about the nitty-gritty, what plans you need to have in place, what structures need to be in place, all of those types of things. It's much broader than that. It's thinking broadly about what this thing of emergency management is and how it's linked to ideas like disaster resilience and so forth that we're seeing used a lot more these days. You'll work with local, national and international case studies to learn from the types of lessons that come out of or emerge from those situations. And it's something that we sort of recommend to anybody thinking about doing a career in emergency management. And of course, there's not a huge amount of people that do those types of work, but also those who may be doing emergency management as something that's part of the rest of their job, and that could be in the banking sector, it could be in working in a private company, it could be working in Taswater and Dipipwe, a whole range of different areas take emergency management up as part of their everyday work. Okie dokie. So the teaching approach that I'm using is a little bit different to other units. It's mainly online. So everything you need for this unit is online for you already. I've got these mini lectures that I'll record. I do interviews with people and I upload them. Hopefully I'll get a few of those up over the course of the semester. We also have a face-to-face lectorial. I call it a lectorial because it's different to a lecture. You've already got your mini lectures. They're online for you and you can watch them anytime. The lectorial is like a tutorial and it's something that I've put together just to support you guys. So if you're really struggling and you don't like online learning so much, come along to the lectorial and we can talk through things together. So I'll touch on the content a bit, ask you some questions, we'll go through assessment items, and when it gets time, close to time to doing the assessment, I'll do some workshops and stuff like that. Don't despair if you're an off-campus student. All of these are recorded, so you can listen in, you can type out your questions for me and then send them to me in an email if you like, anytime. Okie dokie. You work through the online activities, including the readings. You complete the online discussion each week, and of course you complete your assessment so that you don't fail. That's always a good idea. And we'll tell you basically exactly what you need to do each week. I will send out some emails to you every week so you know what we're doing and when. All of that sort of jazz. So that's the teaching approach that we're using. It's a little bit different to other units that you may have studied at UTAS. Hopefully you really enjoy it. It's one of my first experiences using the all online interactive template. It's kind of groovy and I'm a bit excited about it. Having said that, it takes a buttload of time to get it all working and sometimes things don't work. So if you click on something and it's not working, please email me and let me know. So what are we doing over the semester? We've actually got a short semester because we are testing out all of these ideas and we're going to get people's feedback at the end and all of that sort of stuff about how we're doing it. So we just run over 11 weeks and there's a break week in there as well. So we look at what is emergency management this week in this module. Then we follow with histories of emergency management, have a look at the governance frameworks, and then following that the theories and the models of emergency management in Module 4. Then we just have one whole week dedicated to types of emergencies because this is a big, massive, huge area. In fact, I could dedicate an entire unit to that. In fact, probably 2 units. So it covers a lot of ground. Looking at the key phases of emergency management, I could literally write a whole unit for all 4 of these phases. Again, a massive area, very, very detailed. So it's just very broad brushstrokes across this area of concern. Then I want to talk about a couple of case studies. I'm going to start with an international case study of Hurricane Katrina. And we're going to talk through what happened, what were the key issues, and what we can learn from that particular case study. The following week, we're going to go to a national case study. Of course, we've got no shortage of many, many different types of case studies. But in this case, I have focused on the 2009 Victoria bushfires because it was one of the big events which really shaped the ways, pardon me, sorry about that. It shaped the ways in which things happened down the track. September 11 was another one. Hurricane Katrina was another one that really made people think, whoa, we are totally doing this the wrong way. We need to rethink the way that we do this. It can't just be a localized response. It needs to be international. We need to look at communication. All of these questions were raised by these significant case studies. Then we're going to talk about media and public information in emergencies. And then we're going to talk about when stuff goes wrong. And this could be any different number of issues which are raised around different types of emergencies. Then we're going to look at futures of emergency management. Now, I was hoping that I might be able to organise a bit of a panel where people come in and they talk about specific issues, but I've found that the lectorials are not well attended in another unit that I'm doing this in, which is what is policing. And I'm thinking that instead of doing that, I might do a whole series of interviews with people, asking them questions about the future of emergency management, and then uploading them to the website. So that's going to take me a little bit more time, but I think it's a better use of your time overall and mine. And we can watch those in the lectorial together and discuss different types of issues. Now, I've put up a study schedule for this unit because it does help. Because we're off kilter with the rest of semester, we're technically starting in week 3. All of the dates were all over the place, and the unit outline that I have up there is not correct. So please don't use that as your first source of information for this unit. Make sure you use the Milo site as your source of information for the unit, only because the dates in the unit outline are wrong. So for instance, I said that the quiz would close on Friday nights. I don't tend to do that. I like to leave it open till Sunday night just to give you that extra couple of days, because I know a lot of you work full time during the week trying to, maintain 2 or 3 jobs so that you've got money to live so that you can do your study. So what I've done is I've put together this study schedule that says, week beginning Monday, 13th of March, we're focusing on Module 1. So you do everything in Module 1. And it tells you the discussion topics and due dates for assessment and things like that. So I've got here in this slide from week 1 to our break week, which is Monday the 17th of April. Something else I forgot to put in the unit outline. Go me. I will get it right eventually. And then I've got another half on the next slide that talks about from week 6 from Module 6 to Module 11. And you can see there that in Module 6, we've got our first multiple choice quiz. In Module 11, we've got our second multiple choice quiz. And then we've got the reflective case study that's due on Friday. In Module 10. And I've given you the due dates for all of these in this particular PowerPoint slide. So I've just found a mistake. I'm going to go back and fix that before I upload the slides for you. So, what are the resources then? We're working mainly from the Milo site, obviously. Make sure you keep an eye out on the announcements. I use these very deliberately. So, for instance, if I have 5 people who send me the same question, I will put up an announcement. That doesn't mean you get an email. It just means that it's on the Milo site for you. So you need to check every couple of days to make sure there's no new announcements. If I wake up in the morning and I'm really sick on the day of electoral, I will send you an email and say, hey, I'm really sick. The electoral today is cancelled, or alternatively, I'm going to do this in its place. So make sure you check your email every day. Every morning before you come to campus, check your email to make sure that there's nothing there. It's really important you get into that habit anyway, because that's usually how other lecturers and etc. will let you know if they're going to be away or if something's cancelled. I've already talked about the study schedule. I've got the mini lecture slides. So they are the transcript for the mini lecture. So you'll see the YouTube embedded, and then underneath you'll have a link to the transcript of the slides, which is the PDF of the PowerPoint. We've got the mini lecture recordings, which is what you're watching now. Then we've got the readings, and they're all embedded into the content for you as we go. Where possible, I will give you online videos to watch. In fact, I've got quite a few this week because there was some really great material out there to share with you. And, of course, at some point, not right now, but definitely in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to say, I'll put some videos up about assessment items for you. Now, this is where I just literally talk through the assessment. All the information that you have is already available on the Milo site for you, but I talk through it in a video and I give you some tips about how to make things a little bit better for you. For instance, when we do the recording about the case study, the reflective case study, I'll talk through, apologies guys, I'm really tired today. I'm sorry about that. It's a Saturday and I'm struggling to stay awake. I will give you tips on, how to structure your reflective case study, all of those types of things. I'll do that all in that video so that you have got some good information about what to do. Okay, so we've got 3 assessment items in total for this particular unit. The first is your 2 multiple choice online quizzes. This is worth 40% of your overall mark for this unit. And I've tried to make this as simple as possible. This is not a punitive mechanism. It's not to test your knowledge of, at the end of semester or anything like that. This is attached to your readings. So it's basically telling me, yes, I've read my readings. Okay, so we've got 2 quizzes. Each quiz has 20 questions drawn from the key readings. So those readings that are embedded in the Milo site, they're the ones that I take the questions from, nowhere else. I don't take them out of the lecture slides because I may change them every week and put in new examples and things. I don't take them out of any of the material on the Milo site. They're all taken out of the readings. So make sure you remember that. So quiz 1 runs in the week of Module 6, which starts the week beginning Monday the 24th of April, and it'll go all the way through till Sunday for you, till like 11:59 p.m. Don't do it then. It tends to make the website crash when everybody gets up and does it all at once. Yep, done that at QT, had 500 students get on there at about 10 minutes to midnight. Not fun. So don't do that. I will have it open all week. You can probably do it. I'm going to set it up so you do it a few times, just so that if you feel you're struggling, you didn't get a great score, you can go in and do it again. I don't mind. But probably just 3 times I'll give you a chance to do better in it. So for the first quiz, it's drawn from the readings from modules 3 to 5. Okay, just 3 to 5. Actually, that's not correct. No, it should be modules 1 to 5. Sorry, folks, I will get it right eventually. Yes. From modules 1 to 5, so the stuff that we do around what does emergency management mean this week, that will have some questions out of those readings and it will go into that quiz. Quiz 2 will run in the week of module 11, so the week beginning Monday the 29th of May, almost at the end of semester. And the questions will be drawn from the readings from modules 6 to 10. So from 1 to 5 is your first one, from 6 to 10 is your second one. I'm not including your last module, which is module 11. Okie dokie. I've given you a little bit of an image on the slide there so you can see what the questions will look like. Just gives you an example, but I'm also hoping to put up a little practice quiz that's based around referencing, but I haven't written that yet. So give me a couple of weeks and I might be able to get onto that for you. And you'll be able to have a practice quiz online so that you can have a feel of what it's like and all of those types of things. For this particular assessment item, it's due at the end of Module 10 and it's due Friday the 26th of May at midnight. You can see that I've actually given you the due date here. If I remember correctly, it's 1,500 words maximum. Yes. And that's excluding references. So your reference list is not included in that word limit. It's a very simple reflective case study. So what I want you to do is reflect on some sort of emergency situation that either you've been personally connected with or in some way. And that doesn't necessarily, so either you've been connected with it or perhaps your family has or one of your friends has been connected to an emergency situation. I'm going to obviously give you a lot more structure for this so you know exactly what to do. But I've tried to make it as simple as possible. You need to critically reflect in writing about your experience of this event and discuss the management approach taken in the case study. So it needs to be something that you can go online with, do a bit of reading about, a little bit more learning about that particular type of emergency or disaster, and tell us more about that. But as I said, in those videos, I'll give you heaps of information about how to do that. So that's the case analysis. Again, that's worth 40% of your overall mark, and it's a writing task. So you'll basically set it up like a mini essay. Okay. The online participation in discussion forums is the third assessment item for this unit. Now, this happens over the whole semester, and so through all the modules. For every module, you get up online and you tell us about stuff from week to week. The only ones that are not assessed are the Module 1 and Module 11, because they are... So Module 1 is where you introduce yourself. I don't want you to be assessed on that. That's a bit silly. Then Module 11, sorry, I'm just refreshing my memory here because I have the shittest memory in the world. Yeah, it's just feedback on the unit. I want you to get on the discussion board and tell me about what you liked about the unit, what you hated about the unit, what you think I should do with the unit that'll make it better next time. I always do that in my last week and hope that people get on there and tell me about that. So you won't be assessed on that. I think that's a little inappropriate. The reason why I give you this discussion forums, A, you get to meet lots of cool people online, number one, and then B, number two, is that you get to write. You get to write a bit. Now, one of the things that a lot of students have trouble with when they do university for the first time is that they struggle with writing. So they might write a paragraph, but they might write it as a series of sentences. So we're opened up this opportunity for you so that I've got the potential to read through your writing and say, wow, that's really good. You've got good paragraph structure there. Have a look at your sentence structure. Sometimes I can see a bit of passive wording, that type of stuff. I'm actually going to give you feedback on your writing on a week-to-week basis in that discussion forum, which means when it comes time for you to write up your reflective case study, that is what it's called, isn't it? Yes, I remembered that time. When you do your reflective case study, you'll have a better understanding of how to do writing a little bit more clearly. And I'm hoping that that will actually help you on a week-to-week basis. I'll also talk through that, though, in the videos about the assessment and give you some example paragraphs, tell you how to structure an essay, all of those types of things, just so you've got a bit more information about what it's going to look like, what's expected of you, etc., etc. Okay, so the discussion forums is worth 20%. As I said before, it's not focused on content, it is focused on your writing. Having said that, you will get feedback if you say, so this is what I did on the weekend. I went out, got really pissed, took a car, drove it around, blah, 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 crashed through a fence. It's not contributing in the discussion forum. Make it useful, make it on topic, and we'll all get along just nicely. Alrighty-o. So, just so you know, that's open till week 14 of semester. So that's right at the end after all the semester stuff is finished, and technically you'll be studying for exams. If you still need time to catch up, you've got that final week to get in and catch up, and then I will assess it after that. And as long as you get in there and you put in your from module 2 to module 10, if you've got a post in every one of those modules, you'll pass. You'll get the full marks. All right? So don't stress about it. It's a really, really easy mark for you to get. And quite frankly, I think the quiz is kind of easy too. So, with that, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me if you've got any questions at all. As I said before, email is my best form of contact. I will upload those videos about the assessment items as soon as I can for you, but probably within the next 2 weeks, I'd say, given my current workload. Anyway, I hope that was helpful for you, and I so look forward to seeing some of you very shortly in the lectorial this week. It was great to chat with you. Have a lovely week. See you later.